Helen, Kate, thank you so much for joining us. Being a same-sex couple in the England team, what was that like?
Everybody was amazing. Both of our families were really supportive. We talked to the players, we talked to the coach, which was a bit awkward in the beginning, but actually really good.
Why? You're shaking your head there.
It's one of those things, you know, when you're starting out in a new relationship, you don't really want to be talking to the coach and the performance director and the CEO of England Hockey, but I think it was actually a really healthy and positive thing.
Do you think those conversations are still necessary now?
I'm not sure those conversations are necessary anymore. Certainly in the hockey teams and hockey teams that we're a part of, and now I'm working in football, and I see a lot of couples that are together in the teams at football.
I definitely do think it's moved on. I wonder whether sometimes we're still sweeping some things under the carpet and actually avoiding the hard conversation.
What can the men's game learn from the women's?
It's not really comparable. I think, you know, it's a very different journey for them to go on because of history. You know, traditionally it was seen as a negative thing way back when, and the fact that if you're a woman and you played sport, then you must be a lesbian and you're masculine and all those tropes that come along with that. In men's football is the opposite, and we're starting to see some change with a few male footballers coming out, which is a great step. There shouldn't be loads of pressure on male footballers to kind of do that.
LGBT History Month is so important now. I mean, did you sort of know of it, celebrate it during your career?
I didn't know about it until very recently. Actually, and now we celebrate it every year.
It just gave us the opportunity to ask of our governing body, you know, how are you going to celebrate LGBT History Month? You can't just be for that month either. I think that's also a very important thing, but it gives all of us that opportunity to get it on the table in a really positive and conversational way.
You obviously 3 years ago had a very big moment in life, a big change, I imagine, with your daughter being born.
Life has changed massively since FIFA joined us 3 years ago. It's been incredible. You know, she's amazing.
People from the LGBTQ plus community, I think it's, you know, it's extra hard. You're having to go over extra barriers, and there is a big financial implication to that.
Have you ever faced any sort of prejudice when you're out as a family, or, you know, within the sport even?
Sometimes there's maybe an assumption, like, where's the dad? I think that is probably the major thing that I suppose we've come across. From the very beginning, you know, kind of empowering FIFA to kind of really own her family status, and to be really proud of saying I've got a mummy and a mama. You know, we live in a heteronormative society, and so therefore it's understandable, but I think it's sometimes bubbling under the surface, I'd say.
After everything you've achieved on the pitch, everything you've achieved in your personal lives, what tips could you give?
I think the biggest thing that we talk about, particularly in a team environment, and as I've already touched on it, is those behaviours. Like, what do you just let go because it's easy? Those little annoyances and grievances just layer up over time. So actually just address them right up front, have those hard conversations, don't avoid them, and celebrate good behaviours as well.
That positive side of things isn't mentioned enough when people do succeed.
We're so good at telling you all the things that we're working on, or things we need to improve, because that's our life. But unless we celebrate our achievements, however small they are, the little milestones along the way, you know, we miss a big trick in that inspiration and motivation to help us do the hard stuff.
There's the positive psychology side of you know, what you're actually already good at, what are you bringing to this team, and how can we actually just leverage on that?
Sport is facing a real new challenge regarding, you know, trans inclusion and representation in sport. Where do you stand on the whole situation of trans inclusion?
It has to start from a place of inclusiveness, of equity and of kindness, and I think that's gone completely missing in this whole topic. Sport is supposed to be for everybody. We can look at, okay, what does that look like in each sport, at each level of that sport, for each individual within that sport actually.
So you welcomed your daughter into the world back on New Year's Eve 2019. Where did the name FIFA come from?
Well, we'd been searching for names for a while, hadn't we? And we just didn't like a lot of them.
You didn't like any names?
No, we don't like people. Trying to find something that's quite neutral and a little bit different.
I personally just love how it's spelt, so with a P and an F, EI.
How have you found your life has changed from going from a competitive career on the pitch to now parents.
Knowing where you're going to be at what time every single day for like 4 years of your life at a time, to then not knowing what day is going to be like, one day to the next. And then if you add on top of that layer of having a young family, it's just everything goes out the window, doesn't it?
3 months into having Pfeiffer, we went into lockdown, COVID hit. What was that like?
I mean, in some ways it was good, because we were able to spend lots of time with her and get to know her. And fortunately, because we had those 3 months, we got pretty much all our close family to visit.
Oh, brilliant.
And before we got into lockdown.
Now that you both retired, do you feel like there's a pressure on you guys to still be, visible and speak out about LGBT issues and inclusivity in sport?
I don't feel the pressure of it, but I feel almost a responsibility, I guess, to talk to it, to be ourselves.
People from the community now that are speaking out and sharing their stories, and that's fantastic. Because we're two people, we're one couple, but every person and everyone's story is so different, and so to hear from those people will only be better.